Hello everyone, this is Hive inspection number 7. We will be checking to see if those 2 frames we moved last week are filling out any better, making sure the sugar water we've been feeding them is giving them enough energy to fill those 2 frames out. And you may have noticed the white powder around the side of it. That's just some diatomaceous earth. It's safe for the bees, keeps the ants away from the sugar water up top. We had a real bad ant problem when I first put it on there. But that's just some diatomaceous earth, safe for the bees, but bad for the ants. So we're gonna check those 2 frames out today and just check overall condition of the hive as well. All right, so let's get into it. I'm gonna smoke the entrance, smoke the bees here at the entrance. Give it a quick brush around the edge in case there's any sitting on the side. Crack it open. This is what the feeder looks like. I actually have some with me today so I can do it at the end of the video. So you just put the sugar water in here and it flows down. They crawl on this cage and drink it so they don't drown. All right. Set this off to the side. They can fly off of that when they want to. Really looking for these 2 frames right here is what we really want to look at today. But we also want to check again and make sure the queen is still laying what she needs to lay. So we're going to set our frame holder on here. Okay. Take a look at this outside frame. Brood pattern looks really good. Brood pattern right in the middle. Lots of larvae on this side. Lots of larvae. Lots of new comb going in too. So you can see all the white comb on the edges there. That's new comb they've built since adding the sugar water. Starting to get around my fingers a little bit. But on this side, some new comb. Make sure I'm actually getting it on the camera. Some new comb on the edges where they're storing some honey. Lots of brood in the middle. That's a good brood pattern. That's what you want to see. Once you make sure the queen's not on it, then you can put it out here. Now these next couple of frames are very heavy with bees. Lots of bees on them. So we're gonna make sure we get a good look at these next couple of frames. Might have to put my gloves back on today. They're flying around my hands pretty bad. Like right there, yeah. Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm putting my gloves on. So, the reason why they're flying around me so bad right now is because I'm doing this so early in the morning, just because it's so hot around here. Heat index is over 100 every day this week. So, doing it in the morning, which is also bad because there's more bees in the hive. They're not all out foraging. I don't like using these gloves because, for one, I don't have good control over the frame. And 2, I can't really grab anything with them. Check this frame out here. Show you guys another good brood pattern. It's a little spotty, but that's just where they've been hatching. They're probably storing a lot of the sugar water I put in here. That's what all the glistening is. It might be some nectar, but a lot of it is probably sugar water they're storing. No queen on this frame either. There's another queen cup right there. That's just the bees being bees. Let's check the other side of this frame out. Yeah, they're storing a lot of the sugar water down here. It's not a big deal, but there's still plenty of places for her to lay. Lots of larvae still in here too. Larvae down here. Lots of larvae across the top here too, and there's little white circles inside the cells. Another good frame, in my opinion. Now we're gonna be getting into the middle of it here. The bees there's just so many bees in here right now. If you are gonna get into beekeeping, I do not recommend doing it this early in the morning. I usually do it around 11 o'clock. That's usually, you want to typically do this between 11 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon when most of the bees are gone. You don't want to do it early in the morning like this. But I don't even know what time it is. I think it's like 9 o'clock right now. You generally want to do it later in the day. But again, this frame looks good. They're building out more comb on the other side. Good brood through here. They are filling it up with sugar water, which isn't a big deal because they'll use that pretty quickly. This entire frame, most of it, is new comb. See how white it is? And there's eggs in there too. See if I can show them to you. See those white dots on the inside of the cells? That's the eggs. The queen's been over here very recently. Within the last 12 hours, she's been over here. But I don't see her on this frame. Looks like a lot of bees are drinking the sugar water, which is fine. That's what it's there for. There's so many bees in here. I almost need to put the second box back on here now because there's just so many. I have to smoke it every time I move a frame, which is unusual. I usually don't have to smoke it this much. Again, we have a good brood pattern here, right in the middle of the frame. That's where you want to see the brood. Some good honey going in, or good sugar water nectar. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but they're filling it up and starting to cap some of it off down here. Those bees right there are capping some of it off. Not much going on elsewhere. Just a lot of brood on this frame. Yeah, I'm probably not going to do it this early again. The way these bees are acting right now, it'll be a while before I come out this early. They're flying all over my face, everywhere, all over my hands. One just tried to sting me through my glove. They're everywhere. They are on edge too. This frame is covered in brood. Absolutely covered from one end to the other, all the way across. Brood everywhere. On this side, you can see where they've put some new honeycomb on there. A little bit of brood in the middle. Lots of eggs on this frame too. Still don't see the queen, which is okay. Okay for now. Now if we get to the end and don't see her, I might have to look back through to make sure there actually is one here. But more than likely there is, because there's a lot of eggs, which means she's been laying within the last 24 hours. So unless she left and went somewhere overnight, there's still gonna be a queen in here. Guys, there's just so many bees, I don't know what to do. This is the first time I've ever been around this heavy of a hive, where they're just all over the place. Check these next couple of frames here and I might call it. Might not even move these last couple, even though I really want to put one of these on the end. Would love to put this one, or this heavy one here, back on the end on this side, kind of rotate them, but something tells me I'm not going to get to do that today. All right, pulling this one out of the middle. Oh, there's the queen right there. We have found her. We don't really need to do much else other than check these other two frames, which we have found the queen here. Oh, sorry. Yep. So we found her. I don't think she's gonna lay anything on this frame just because of the fact that it's just recently hatched brood. They're still cleaning a lot of these cells. So I don't think she's gonna do much laying. So we're gonna put her back. Make sure she's good there. All right, so we've found the queen, we've checked all these hives, there's good eggs, good brood still. So we're gonna check these last 2 frames and we're getting out of here. Just not gonna stay out here any longer than I have to. Like I said, we're gonna check these 2 frames here, make sure they're filling them out, and I'm calling it. I'm gonna stick these other 2 frames back in, and I'm gonna be done with this today. It's already been longer than I wanted to. Had to stop and redo my smoker. This is one of the frames I was telling you guys about that they weren't filling out. Look at all this fresh white comb on here now, where they've been filling it out over the last week. They're either storing sugar water or nectar. I would imagine they're just storing the sugar water that I give them to build out the frames. So look at the other side, all that fresh comb they're building out. This had almost nothing on it last week. This is all a fresh frame right here. A little bit of pollen right there in the middle. So I know I keep talking about sugar water and helping the bees with energy and everything. Well, bees can only make wax when they're 12 to 17 days old. So for 6 days, they can make this wax, but you have to have bees that are 12 to 17 days old. Those are the only ones that are able to make it. So they need that sugar water, the energy, to be able to do it. Again, this is a learning experience for me. Maybe if you want to get into it, I could teach you something. Like to not do it this early in the morning. This is just a frame of sugar water / nectar. Some brood on this side. Nothing crazy, but they have built out this frame quite a bit. This was another frame that had almost nothing on it last time. They're just going to town. You can see a couple bees over in this corner. They're trying to throw some wax down in this area where they're building it up. But for the most part, that's just sugar water or nectar one on that side. A lot of brood on the other side. Okay, that's it. I'm just gonna skim through these last frames here. Skim through them. Skim through these last 2 frames, make sure that they're still active on them. Looks like there's a little bit of sugar water going on this side, or nectar. On this side, same thing. Probably where some brood hatched out before. And they're just filling it with sugar water. Okay, that's going to conclude today's hive inspection. Now, if you give me a minute, I'm going to get these angry bees out of the way, and I'm going to show you the sugar water process. Yeah, they are not happy today. That right there's the third one that's tried to sting me through my gloves. There's the third one. So, if you are thinking about being a beekeeper, stick to the rules. Stick between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. to do your hive inspections. Any earlier and you get this, very angry bees. Just because a lot of them aren't out foraging yet. They're still in the hive. And the foragers are usually the ones that are extra aggressive. So let me go get the sugar water. I'll be right back. All right. This is just sugar water, 1 to 1. Basically, 10 cups water, 10 cups sugar is what I do. It's what I found online that people say works the best for right now. Later in the year, you'll probably do maybe a 3 to 1 or a 4 to 1, just to kind of thin it out some, make them think it's a nectar flow. That way the queen will lay into overdrive. If she thinks it's a nectar flow, she'll lay more, and that'll give you more bees to go through the winter with. All right, so we're gonna put this up here. I usually do about a half gallon at a time. There are some bees crawling around, so you kind of want to just do it slowly, let them get out of the way. Keep the flies away from it too, because flies like sugar water apparently. And we'll do a little bit at the time. I'll usually fill the tray up until the sugar water's all the way at the back wall. And then I'll just wait till the next day. A little bit more here. Now they'll find this. Now whenever they start finding it, this whole grate right here will be covered in bees. Like it'll be several thousand bees just up here waiting to drink. A little bit more. All right. And that's the sugar water process. That's the feeder. Been trying to show you guys that for like 3 weeks now. But that's the whole process right there. Do about a half gallon at a time, which they'll drink in probably by the end of today. If I come back out here tonight, this thing would be empty. They drink it so fast. All right, we got our inner cover we're gonna put on. Put our inner cover on it. And we put our lid. All right, so today was chaotic. I do not recommend doing bees that early in the morning, but lesson learned. So next time will be 11, 12 o'clock before I get back out here, because that was crazy. They tried to sting me 3 times through my gloves, so that's 3 bees that died, unfortunately, because I decided to do it this early. But that's okay. We live and we learn. And next week we're gonna do it same way. I'm gonna talk to some bee people, see if I need to put a second box on there right now, because there's just so many bees in there. If I need to put a second box on, we'll do that next week. I know I just took it off, but they needed it. They needed the confined space. So we're gonna try to put that on next week. And Toby, stop. I'm probably not even in the freaking shot. So we're gonna put that on next week, or try to put it on. I'm gonna talk to some beekeepers and see what I need to do. You notice I'm a little further away this time because they are just so angry right now. That's the worst they've been since I've had them. I got them back in May. So also, don't know if you guys noticed, we've hit 20 subscribers. It might be 21 by now, I'm not sure. Haven't looked in a day or two, but we did hit 20 subscribers. So thank you guys for hitting the subscribe button and caring about what I do. I like showing you guys what's going on. I don't know if you guys like it or not, but thank you again for the 20 subscribers, and we'll see you next week.